Live Madden 15 Season 15 coverage of the MBL draft. I'll be your host tonight, Sonny Weaver, as we do the live by live draft coverage. Helping me out tonight will be Bomber, Tom, DK, and Lip. As we look at the draft tonight, the Texans are on the clock with the #1 overall pick. They hinted earlier today that they would be going with the quarterback. Lip, what do you think about the Texans situation here? Obviously, when you have the #1 overall pick, you have a lot of needs, but specifically the idea of going quarterback #1 here. Like that pick or not?
Yeah, I think that the Texans have to go pick quarterback here with this pick. There's a lot of teams that want to go quarterback. I think that this might be their chance to get it. They tried to get a quarterback with some later picks last year. It didn't really work out. If you look at the team, they've got some pieces that they can work with on offense, and I think that all they need is a quarterback to begin that process of being a really good offense.
And it looks like they did go with the quarterback Marshall Blair, as I hinted at earlier. That had been the rumors coming out of the Houston Texans organization. The New Orleans Saints are now on the clock, and the rumor has it that they also will be going with a quarterback here. Tom, the Saints have a lot of needs. They've been the #1 overall pick the last 2 seasons, #2 this year. Is it time to get Drew Brees' successor down there in New Orleans?
I have to say it is. They went ahead in the first draft and drafted a wide receiver. They were unable to acquire any quarterbacks after Drew Brees had left and had some unsuccessful years with Drew Brees. So this is definitely the year that they're going to draft a quarterback. I've heard from the camp that they were interested in taking Blair, but with seeing Blair go, I could definitely see him going with either Devin Riley or Cole Parker here as the quarterback. It's definitely the pick that I would shoot them in for right here.
So last year they went out, they got the big wide receiver #1 overall. Lit up the year this year. Find the quarterback possibly. You know, there's still some other needs on this team. Obviously, when you're finishing in the top 5, there's a bunch of different ways you could go. If they don't go quarterback, where else could they go here?
If they decide not to go with quarterback, I could see them trying to solidify their defense up the middle with a middle linebacker, or possibly trying to help out their pass support with drafting a new cornerback. Those would be the two highest priorities, I believe, for their defense.
Well, so as it sounds like the pick is in, and they did go with quarterback Riley. I like that matchup now. They've got a good 1-2 combo and a young quarterback, young wide receiver. Hopefully this offense can catch up. I think they're still going to need to do some work on the defense. Jacksonville's on the clock here at #3. Jaguars had a pretty disappointing season. They had a couple bright spots, couple wins. Very run dependent. With the 2 quarterbacks off the board, where do you think those Jags are going, Lip?
It's actually.
Go ahead, DK.
Oh, my bad, brother. I think the Jags are going to go middle linebacker. Definitely a need. They have Dent there right now, and I don't think that he's going to get it done. So I think they need to get a playmaker there to solidify the defense and have a play caller for them. They're also talking about going wide receiver also, but I think they should definitely go towards the middle linebacker.
Well, it looks like they read your mind, except they went maybe a round early there. They go with the wide receiver Patrick. And that brings the Chicago Bears up on the clock here at #4.
And that's me. Let me tell you about these Bears. I just got off the phone with them right now. They love this Oklahoma Sooner cornerback, Trayvon Greco. He's going to pair up with Kyle Fuller, and they're going to have the best cornerback core they feel in the Madden Bomber League. And I would be surprised. I would give my left you-know-what if they did not take cornerback from Oklahoma, Trayvon Greco.
So assuming they don't go with Greco, there's been some talks, quarterback. I think they went out and they signed Brock Osweiler, I think, a free agency, so they've solidified the quarterback spot. A lot of holes on the Chicago Bears team. Like you mentioned, put somebody opposite Corey Fuller, let them get out there and really learn early on in their career. I could also see maybe some solidification of the offensive line. It may be a little early here. Pretty weak draft here for the line. I agree with you, Bomber. I think cornerback is going to be the way to go here. In this division, you being in this division, you got to stop Calvin Johnson. You got to stop Golden Tate. You got to stop all these different guys. What do you think about Greco's ability to stop these big play receivers?
I think he's got potential. He's only 5'11", 190, but he's a great man coverage cornerback. He definitely is somebody that this team could use right now next to Kyle Fuller, and that'll definitely improve the 26 defense pass game.
Well, it looks like Greco's the pick here. So Bomber, your sources were right there. And What are you thinking about this pick at this point? It's what you thought they were doing. Is that the way you thought it was going to go there?
Hey, they're all in with this guy, and we're on to Minnesota already. Their pick looks like it's already in quick. Appreciate that APV. They going with the halfback, and they had texted me earlier to go with. They're going to go with Corbett. They wanted a power run because Adrian Peterson retired on them, and that's just a hole that they needed to fill, and they went ahead and went with the halfback. I think we're on to Tennessee now.
So the Tennessee Titans, DK, tell us about these Titans. Marcus Mariota has been the quarterback there, but they don't seem happy about that. Could they go quarterback here? Where else could they go?
They're definitely going to the defensive side of the ball. I just talked to the owner of the Titans, and they're telling me defense. He won't tell me who, but he's telling me defense. I think they should go defensive end, have somebody to team up with Casey, or they can get another playmaker at cornerback to go with McCourty because he's getting longer to tooth at the age of 31.
But back to that offensive side of the ball. The ownership there has been reluctant to put Marcus Mariota there and establish him as the guy. They were making some plays in free agency, heard some rumors that they were going after possibly Bridgewater, a couple other quarterbacks. With Mariota still being on this roster and them not showing the confidence in him that you would expect of a former first-round pick, is quarterback in play here? I mean, how serious are they looking at quarterbacks with the top two quarterbacks coming off the board early?
From what he's told me is that he's going defense. Like, he's going to stick with Mariota and try to ride the wave with him for another season. But, I mean, you never know. Anybody can go any way, so we just got to wait for the pick to come in.
And it does sound like the pick's coming in right now. And it looks like it's going to be Robinson, the cornerback. So you were correct there. He did go with the defense. I expect maybe Tennessee to revisit the offensive side of the ball later in the draft, but that's a good pick there for the Titans. Next up, we got a player in the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals had a pretty good year from their standpoint, but they've got a lot of holes. They got to fill a lot of things. They had an interesting draft last year. Who knows if Wheeler's still the answer out in this desert? Bomber, these Arizona Cardinals, where are we going?
I spoke to a player earlier. He was very convinced that linebacker is the hole that they need to fill in this draft in the first round. I'm looking at Julius Burton, Percy Bass, and even Gary Goodwin at cornerback could possibly be a void they're trying to fill next to Pat Peterson. They have a strong secondary in my eyes, but they're looking for that nickel corner that they can develop into be a strong number two next to the star cornerback of Patrick Peterson. But I think that's going to be filled later. I expect them to go linebacker with their pick at number 7 right now.
So you talk about going on the defensive side of the ball. You're talking about the 32nd ranked offense, 31st in points last year. Not sure that linebacker is going to run out there and score touchdowns for them. You know, defense is great. Their defense was middle of the road, but I think they got to get something on offense here this year if they're going to have a shot to play in that division, which is a very good division.
That's a great point, Sonny.
And it looks like the pick did come in there. They went wide receiver. Hopefully that's going to help them put some points on the board. When you got a young quarterback, you got to give them weapons. I think Hunter's going to be that weapon out there in the desert for Wheeler. So next up at number 8, we got the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens, ownership changeover this year. Still learning out this ownership and what they may or may not do here. What are you thinking for Baltimore?
Well, I talked to Baltimore owner all day. He is a new owner. And
all right, so Bomber, help me out here with Baltimore. Baltimore Ravens, new ownership. They finish at the bottom of the division. Disappointing season. Joe Flacco's still coming back. $30 million cap hit. Are they looking for the future for the quarterback position? Possibly something on defense? Or are we...
Guys, I talked to Ravens owner all day today. They just lost Ladarius Webb at cornerback. Jimmy Smith is 30 years old. They also lost Suggs at outside linebacker. This team is definitely looking at corner for this number 8 pick. He really has confidence in Joe Flacco, the offensive line, some of the weapons on offense for wide receiver that the previous ownership brought in. But with Jimmy Smith being 30 and Ladarius Webb just retiring, he's definitely looking at cornerback here.
So with cornerback being the pick here, possibly, we'll wait a couple seconds here and find this out. Like you said, Joe Flacco's getting older. I think at some point they may want to look to a quarterback in this draft, but can't argue with that. The secondary got torched all year long. They're playing in a division with some of the best offenses in MBL. A cornerback seems like a probable solution here, and it does look like that's going to be the pick. So we got the Chargers up here. They ownership changeover once again this year for the Chargers. Tell me about the Chargers, DK. What are you guys thinking over there in the war room?
Well, man, I'm so glad. I've been looking at this draft board and seeing the corners just fall off. The corner that I wanted to go with other than Greco was Gary Goodwin, so that's who we're definitely going to go with. We need to bring somebody in to replace Brandon Flowers. He's on the last year of his contract, and he's getting older, and we need to move on from him.
So what is it about this cornerback that makes you want to get him here at the number 9 pick?
Oh, I love his size. He's 6'2". You know, he's fast. He had the second best 40-yard dash in the combine. And I need somebody that can play man coverage, and he's looking like he can be that guy. Along with his 6'2" frame, he also has a high vertical, which was the highest in the combine. So he's a combine warrior, and we hope he can put that to the field.
Well, we're going to wish him some good luck out there in San Diego, sunny San Diego. So knowing that pick's coming in, let's kind of look ahead here. The Washington Redskins, Doughboy, great defense there in Washington, but a lack of offensive weapons there. Really that whole offense probably needs retooled. Playing in that NFC East, Tom, tell me about the Redskins and your thoughts here.
Honestly, on this first pick, I cannot see him going anywhere else other than wide receiver. As you stated, he's had a pretty lackluster offense. He definitely believes in the defense. He believes he has defensive talent, especially with the couple of guys he's picked up in free agency. I think he definitely believes he's pretty solid there. His wide receiver core is something lacking. You saw him offer big for Charles Johnson in free agency. I think they're going to try to get that real number 1 wide receiver with their first pick here.
So the big wide receiver, looking past this, outside of wide receiver, they got a lot of holes. Where else could we see them going?
I mean, they could go a few spots, but I can guarantee you they're definitely going wide receiver this first pick. If they were going to decide to go defense, I could possibly see them going middle linebacker. They just got a big defensive end in free agency, so I think middle linebacker is really the biggest hole they have on their team on defense.
Well, we talked about it. The defense, it really played well and kept them in games this year. But that offense, it struggled at times as it's aging. I know they finished pretty well overall, 11th. However, Deshaun Jackson's getting up there in age. Alfred Morris isn't getting any younger. So you got to think that they're going to try to retool and replenish that offense out there in Washington. Looks like that pick is going to be in here, and they do go with the wide receiver Williams. Good pick there, and that looks like it could be the heir apparent there to Deshaun Jackson. We're back out to the NFC North with the Green Bay Packers. That means we're back out to Bomber to give us a little insight here on the Green Bay Packers.
The Green Bay Packers are looking to solidify that defense. You got Clay Matthews, who's definitely aging. They had the 23rd rush defense last season. I'm going to say, from my sources, what have told me, they're really big on the Wisconsin Badger, Quay Brandon. He's 6'1", 240. He had a decent combine, but they love his ability to pursue and tackle, and that's what they need. They need run support, and they need the ability to stop the run so they can allow their corners and secondaries to thrive in their defense. I would be surprised if they went anywhere else than middle linebacker Quay Brandon.
So Brandon, this organization here in Green Bay has had a pretty interesting offseason. I know they got in some bidding wars early. I'm not sure they turned over the amount of free agents they really thought they were going to get. I know they were looking to the future early on, or towards the end of last year with Hundley. Aaron Rodgers possibly on the way out there. Not sure they're sold on Hundley as the player of the future. Interesting that they're looking to retool the defense at this point in this draft, so we'll have to watch and see if that is in fact the way they go. But if the middle linebacker Brendan is in fact the pick here, it's going to be a great pick, and that does appear to be the pick. So we move to Denver Broncos here. Longtime owner Bagley. You got the AFC West. DK, tell me about the Broncos and where we think we're going with this pick.
He really, really desperately needs a quarterback, but I think the quarterback he really wanted was already drafted, so I think he's going to go try to replace TJ Ward. I think he's going to go with Hammond at a strong safety to replace him and get that secondary back up to par.
Well, I definitely think that the replacement of Ward's big. He did talk quarterback. I think Cole Parker's still on the board here. Parker's definitely an option. He's in play here for Denver. I think you'd prefer to have gotten Marshall or Blair or Riley. However, Parker is an option, I think, and that's a place he could end up at. Does look like the pick is in here, and we're going to get this pulled up here in a second. But, quarterback's such a tough position to fill, and it looks like the Broncos went ahead and filled it. And it's good to see that the Broncos are looking to the future. Glennon's not the guy there. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we're back to the NFC South. So give me a little profile here on the Tampa Bay Bucs and what we're looking to see here.
All right, so the Tampa Bay Bucs, they are another team that's under new ownership here. This owner took over this team about a little after the midway point of the season. I think a lot of people know that this team has a lot of holes. It's a pretty tough division, being led by the Panthers and the Falcons there. Honestly, I couldn't tell you specifically where he's going. He said to me when I was talking to him earlier that he's going to be picking the best talent that is out there on the board, regardless of the position. He feels that he has almost every single spot that can be taken over by a young rookie who's very talented. So I could see this pick going in any direction, really.
So the Buccaneers went heavy in free agency at cornerbacks. I don't know if necessarily we're going to see a cornerback go here. They paid Aqib Talib $16 million for a year of his service, which at this point in his career may have been a little bit steep. But maybe the plan's still to go cornerback here. Let the young guy learn behind one of the veteran corners they went out and got. Like you said, I think when your team has this many holes, best player available is always the way to go. So we are going to have to sit back here and look. But in that division, they're going to have to rebuild this team. They got the quarterback in Jameis Winston, but you've got the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers, who have both been a force in the NFC for a couple years. So whatever the pick is here at number 13 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we're definitely going to have to expect to get a playmaker here. And
I could definitely see a high-powered defensive player going here. The Panthers and the Falcons have been one of the top offenses in the league for a couple of years. So I could definitely see them trying to take a high-powered defensive player to combat that for the couple seasons coming.
Well, it looks like they went with a little different idea. They're going to build from the trenches, which anytime you can put a building block franchise left tackle in front of a quarterback that's showing promise, I think that's a good move there by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we're back out to the NFC North and Bomber. Chicago Bears up again here at number 14. We saw him earlier go with the cornerback Greco. Where are we going now here at 14?
Well, my sources say I just spoke to Josh on the phone, the owner of the Bears. He wouldn't give me much information, so I talked to his son. His son told me that basically the defense. They just drafted a cornerback to pair with Kyle Fuller, and it looks like they're going to go either outside linebacker with Piercy Bass. I don't have much information on him. He is a projected number 1 pick, but he's from Georgia. They love Georgia, and they're also looking at the DN from Georgia, Joey Betty. So one of these Bulldogs is going to get drafted first by Chicago, unless my source is wrong. And most cases, I'm not wrong. I'm usually right. What can I say?
So you do have the sources there in the Chicago War Room. So give us a little profile on this guy. You got all the sources in the world. If Bass is the man, tell us about him.
All right, Bass, he had a .2 GPA. He struggled when he first came to college. He had to get his GP up to get him in there. He's a guy that really developed. He not only developed academically, he developed on the field. He worked his butt off in practice. He was a redshirt freshman, but he's definitely someone that has shown so much promise that they're looking to take him in the first round right now. A little bit of a steal is what they're thinking.
All right.
It looks like they did go with him. Percy Bass, right outside linebacker, Georgia Bulldog. Congratulations, Percy. Shout out to Josh's son.
There you go. So talent in the Miami Dolphins are on the clock here at number 15. We're going to see a lot of talent in this draft as he looks to try to get this team back into the playoffs after making the playoffs for the first time last season. So with us being in the AFC East. Lip, give us a little profile here on the Dolphins.
Well, I kind of had some long talks with Todd today about who he was going to take. He gave me a lot of different areas. He gave me offensive line, linebacker, defensive line, and wide receiver. But you know Todd, and you know that he is going to go wide receiver. I'd really like to see Todd try to build that defense up, but I think Todd's going to stick to his offensive ways. He had a powerful offense, and I think he's definitely going to try to find a wide receiver here at this pick.
Bomber, you got a comment for that?
Todd basically told him every position that on the board there possibly he could think of off the top of his head, dude. But we all know he's going wide receiver. That's basically what we got from that, and we expect a wide receiver in 30 seconds.
He's listening to that gut feel and just keeps telling him wide receiver, wide receiver.
Well, we did talk to him, and we pointed out that the only cornerback that he really had before this last free agency was Nate Boykin, and there it is. It's cornerback. He listened.
He's grown up. He's
that's
a man.
Great
Suit
job,
tied.
Todd.
Suit
Congratulations.
tied, Todd. He is locked and loaded and ready for this season. Make the
All
playoffs,
right.
man. Sky's the limit.
So we've come to pick 16 here. We've got Sonny Weaver up on the board. Everybody knows that Sonny Weaver is just a mastermind at these off-season things. I think that I've talked to him quite a bit here. He really wants to go corner. He got a good corner in free agency. Kind of lacks in man coverage, so we might see a cornerback here to lock down that defense. Sonny also talked to me about a wide receiver to help balance his offense out more. He's got A.J. Green, Tyler Eifert, but he doesn't really have a wide receiver on the other side to really bring everything together. But I wanted to ask Balmer, what do you think about the Nassib deal that brought Nassib to the Bengals, but also the free agency move to bring Dalton back to the Bengals?
I think a lot was made with those two moves. Dalton was hitting the point in his contract where they didn't want to pay him where he was at, so they released him, put him out of free agency, bid on him like everybody else, ended up bringing him back as a value, and that's a safety play because the Cincinnati Bengals know that they can compete right now, but they need a quarterback. And if the Nassib deal falls through, which they paid a second and a fourth for, so you hope that it doesn't, for the sake of the franchise, but if it does, you can always go back to the old reliable redhead, Andy Dalton, and he can be your guy and he can lead you to the playoffs because you know what? He's done it before and he'll do it again.
You know, that's a great point. In theory, you know, a lot of people are taking bets on how long it'll take before Dalton's back at the starting quarterback.
I would say the over and under on that would probably be week 6. Probably get a poll going on MaddenBomberLeague.com. If you're not a part of our league, this is live draft right now. That's why it's so chaotic and so crazy. And that's why we're still waiting on this Bengals pick. The Bengals pick is in. I'm sorry. He got cornerback L. Hood. Never heard of him. Probably another bust.
Well, with that being said, let's move on over to the Eagles here. Let me tell you one thing I know about the Eagles. They love Brandon Patrick. This guy is their quarterback of the future. And you know what you do for quarterbacks of the future? You protect them. I cannot see this pick going anywhere other than an offensive lineman. They want to solidify it. Brandon Patrick had an absolutely putrid season this year. He threw 6 touchdown passes and 21 interceptions. They want to turn that around. They're going to protect him up front and give him the time in the pocket that he needs to throw the ball.
So, you know, you mentioned that about Patrick. The thing with Patrick, he started sliding a little bit at the end of last year, and it does appear that I think the knee-jerk reaction was to go after the young quarterback. But once I think ownership and the coaching staff calms down, they realize that all quarterbacks can get shell-shocked, and when a quarterback's getting pressured constantly, that you got to take care of them. So I agree with you here that you're going to see some protection here for Patrick. The other thing with these Eagles, they play in a division out there where they got to keep up scoring wise. So you've got the New York Giants who put up a lot of points, and this offense is not putting up the points. So like you said, hopefully they protect him, and that's where we think they're going to go here.
No one's going to keep up with the Teddy Bridgewater-led New York Giants. I'll tell you that for a fact.
Always the shameless plug. Always
And
the
the
shameless
plug.
plug. All right, so it does look like the pick is in here for the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's a left tackle there to protect Patterson's blind side. So that's a good pick there for the Eagles.
call.
And we're back
Great
to
selection.
the Denver Broncos, pick number 18, AFC West. DK, take it away.
Oh, he's going strong safety. He got his quarterback. He the quarterback that he was thinking about kind of slipped to him. So he's definitely going strong safety to replace TJ Ward. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
All right. Well, that's a pretty bold statement. The Broncos defense has been relatively lackadaisical the last couple seasons. Are we expecting the leader in the back end here to carry this defense? Or where are we getting the leadership from? It's obviously not this rookie. So where are we getting that from?
Well, they got Von Miller. He's been playing, so-so for the most part, but it's time for them to step up, especially after the division getting a lot tougher now. So if he wants to get back to that 14-2 season, he needs to go ahead and make it happen.
Well, it looks like the pick is in Denver, and it is the strong safety Hammond. So good pick out there in Denver. And we're back to the Washington Redskins, which means Tom's going to tell us where we're going with Doughboy here in the 19th pick of the first round.
All right, so with Doughboy and this Redskins second pick in the first round, remember what we were talking about with the Eagles not being able to keep up with the Giants offense? Redskins can't do it either. They picked a wide receiver in the first pick, and they're going to do it in the second pick here. If they see someone on the board they like, they're taking them. They're revamping that offense full way around. Only other possible way I can see them going if they do not take a wide receiver here, they don't say someone that they really like, is a cornerback. They got to stop Odell, and they can't do it. They're going to try to do it with a cornerback here.
So you're envisioning cornerback here. I'm not sure I got a first-round grade on any sort of cornerback at this point in the draft. I think you're probably looking at a reach here. They did go wide receiver early in the draft, so they may go to something on the defensive side of the ball, but it'll be interesting to see if they decide to reach here for a corner or if they do come back to the offensive side of the ball. Looking at that division as a whole, we just saw the Eagles there. Really bottom five offense try to protect their quarterback. The Redskins actually had a pretty good offense last year, but like we talked about earlier, it's an aging offense, and there's plenty of places on that offense that they could go to recoup. I know they went cornerback in free agency with Robinson. They paid him a lot of money, so you'd think that they're looking to get something out of that guy. But here we got the Redskin. It looks like the pick is going to be coming in here. The card's been handed to the commissioner. So we'll wait for this pick. But as Tom said, they're looking for the best player available, and that's what the Redskins take here. So it does look to be the middle linebacker, Griffin, and that's going to take us to pick number 20 here in the first round of MBL Season 15 draft. Down to the NFC South, and we're going to get a little bit more of Tom here to tell us about the Carolina Panthers.
All right, so the Panthers, they believe that they can attribute their playoff loss to the Detroit Lions, to their defense. They really are looking to work their defense here. After talking with him earlier, they were trying to cut some last-minute deals, pull themselves up a little bit in the draft. They were unable to do so. So I think there was a big target out there that they were trying to get, but they weren't unable to land. However, with this pick, I think they're going to go with the linebackers, try to solidify that rushing defense, or they could possibly be going with a cornerback or safety here. Those are the only two spots I can really see them going. Their offense has been pretty top-notch so far, so I think they're going to be going with a defensive back or lineman.
So it looks like they're going to hand the pick in here to the commissioner, and like you said, the word around the water cooler there, so to say, there after the loss to the Lions was that they lost because of that defense, and they do go to the cornerback, Brian. So speaking of Lions, here we are. We got the Detroit Lions up on the clock, and anybody who knows Detroit Lions ownership, they're going wide receiver. If this is anything but a wide receiver at this point in this draft, I will be shocked. There's the slightest, and I'm talking the slightest of chance you could see some defensive line help, which I think they can get maybe somewhere else in this draft. They've got another pick later in the first round. But this to me screams classic Detroit Lions wide receiver pick.
We all know Bomber loves to take those bust wide receivers in the first round and try to shop them off a year or two later. Let's see if he continues the trend.
Mind you, the Lions just traded Corey Fuller to the New York Giants.
That was not someone drafted. He's a legit target.
All right, little back and forth here here on the show. Detroit Lions have about a minute left on the clock here.
Woo!
And based on that sound, it sounds like we're going to get the pick here. So Detroit Lions owner Bomber,
tell us about your pick here
at pick number 21.
Hopkins, real tiny, 5'8", hasn't grown an inch since 5th grade, but this guy's got speed. He's electrifying. He's got 93 speed, 98 acceleration. Tell him the rest of the attributes, Justin, because I know you want to. Now, let me tell you this. Matt Hopkins is going to be the guy in the slot for the Lions today. He's going to help spread that defense, and if we get another shot at those Pittsburgh Steelers, you better be damn right we're coming at you, boy. We're coming for you, and we're made to beat you. Now, let's move on to Green Bay.
Tell us about Green Bay. You got to calm down for a second, but go ahead and give us a little bit here about what Green Bay is thinking at pick number 22.
Okay, Green Bay. I spoke to their owner earlier. They're looking at going for a D tackle to replace B.J. Raji. You know, you can't do it forever. They're looking at Turner Sam. I don't know much about Turner Sam right now. He kind of was out of the blue because I heard Green Bay was looking at cornerbacks and even possibly something on the offensive side to help beef up that offensive line. But right now it seems like they're going with a D tackle, Turner Sam, to help plug that middle on their 3-4 defense.
So that 3-4 defense, you know, there never seems to be a ton of help there as far as colleges putting out effective nose tackles. So if they think they have the nose tackle of the future there in that 3-4 defense, I think that'd be a good pick there for Green Bay. With AP gone in the division, and the Lions not really set on running the ball, though, run stuffing defensive tackle, we'll have to see what kind of effect he has. But from just a pure schematic value pick here, I think Sam would be a great pick at defensive tackle for the number 22nd pick, 22 pick in the draft, round 1. So the pick is in, and it's going up to the commissioner now. So it looks like it's going to be Sam at 22, and Bomber sources have been on point.
So what does that make me? I'm about 100%.
For this draft. I think you're batting 1,000. And that brings up the 23rd pick in the draft. We're going back out to San Diego, which means we're going out to our man DK for some insight on the San Diego Chargers pick.
Oh, the Chargers are so disappointed that the Lions picked up Hopkins. That's exactly who we were eyeing. 2 picks before us, and we're very disappointed that we can't get him. But it's a good thing because we did pick up Marvin Jones in the free agency, and we really, really need to work on our secondary because when I came there was one of the worst secondaries in MBL. So we're going to go ahead and grab us a strong safety to continue to build this secondary.
So with the move to the secondary, strong safety, you had Hammond go earlier. Where did you have your pick or this prospect compared to Hammond?
I had him about even. You know, I think Hammond's a little bit better, but I think this guy can come in and contribute right away.
How do you think he's going to feel being told that the other guy was better?
Well, hey, he can prove it to us on the field that he was a better player.
All right, well, we're going to have to find out about that, as it does appear that you didn't lie to us, and you are going to go ahead and take a strong safety here. So we're going to assume that that is, in fact, the pick you handed to the commissioner. So the 24th pick is the St. Louis Rams, who that Draco defense, I'll tell you, that's become almost a mythical being in itself. What are we looking to see out of the Rams as we look out to the NFC West, Bomber?
All right, he's not giving up much. It's just like the Draco defense. They don't even film their practices. They don't want anything to leak. What I'm hearing from sources outside of the Rams front office, friends of the family type stuff, I'm hearing cornerback, offensive line, or middle linebacker in the first. That's all I'm getting. I'm not getting nothing. So with that being said, Julius Burton, Oklahoma Sooner, still on the board. The guy's legit. The guy's the real deal. He had a great combine. He's projected to go in the first round. He's one of the top talents at outside linebacker. I would not be surprised, since they lost Laurinaitis, that they go ahead and try to fill it with somebody like Julius Burton.
So middle linebacker, deep draft at middle linebacker. We've seen a couple go already up to this point, but I think there's still a lot of high grades on some of the middle linebackers out there.
Come on, baby.
Who are you pitching there for your middle linebacker?
No, this is an outside linebacker.
Oh, outside linebacker. Okay.
Yeah, Oklahoma Sooner Booner, baby. This guy's got it all. He was a stud in the classroom. He was even better on the field.
I know
and
some mock drafts.
This is not from a source. This is from outside sources. This is a long shot. This is me kind of taking a leap. So if this is wrong, I'm still betting 1,000. And it looks like the pick is coming up. We'll see what they go with.
I'm not sure you understand how batting works. But anyways,
go Spurs.
we're gonna go ahead and get this pick in here from the commissioner
Oh
as it
my
has been
gosh.
turned in. And it looks like the pick is the middle linebacker Pittman, which I think you crossed through the middle linebacker realm there as far as losing Laurinaitis, but you went away from the sources, went with your gut, and your gut failed you. So we're gonna go back to the unpredictable and unknowing tout for the 25th pick here in the draft here in round 1. So Lip, or I should say DK, give me a review of tout.
I think you were right with Lip.
Yeah, I talked to Todd, and as you guys know, that can lead anywhere, literally anywhere. This guy wants to go offense, and if you look at his depth chart, it could be wrong, but right now I'm seeing 3 offensive linemen on the Miami Dolphins team right now. I think that Todd is going to go to his offensive tendency, but I think he goes with a smart pick and takes either a left or right tackle, because right now he doesn't have a whole lot at offensive line, and he loves a powerful offense. So taking an offensive line that's going to protect a quarterback who got hurt all season, that's a smart pick for Todd. Let's see if it happens.
I think you're overselling Todd. That would mean that you're saying that he is going to make 2 smart picks in
confidence.
the same round.
I think this has been Todd's year.
Round.
I know it's a stretch, and I talked to him all day, and we talked about just about every position.
And God bless you for that.
I have faith. I have faith in Todd that he can make 2 very intelligent picks in 1 round of a draft.
That's a little bit of a reach, but you never know. Tout himself is a reach, and his players could be a reach, but we'll see what the pick is here as the card has been handed to the commissioner. But once again, shout out to the Dolphins for making the playoffs this season in the AFC East. And
there you
looks
go.
like Tout does go line, so maybe not necessarily the position he needed, but the position that's going to work for him there. As we go out to pick number 26, the Kansas City Chiefs. So we're out in the AFC West, and that is DK's territory for the Chiefs. Give us a rundown.
Well, the Chiefs told me with the inside the huddle that they're going playmaker at cornerback and receiver. It looks like all the top cornerbacks are basically gone, but we do still have 3 towers at receiver that he can choose from. All 3 of them 6'4" with solid speed. So I think he's going to go with one of these big receivers.
So the playmakers out in Kansas City, you got Alex Smith. They're doing the reclamation project with Blake Bortles. Who do you foresee being the quarterback when training camp opens up?
I think it's going to end up being Blake. I think they're going to move forward with the youth and go with Bortles, and hopefully that'll work out for him, but I'm hoping it's not.
And it looks like the pick is in, and it's going to be Reynolds. Not one of the top 3 wide receivers we necessarily. Well, I guess it was the 3rd one down there on the list. So we get a wide receiver playmaker for the Kansas City Chiefs, and we're to the Atlanta Falcons, one and only. Taking us to the NFC South. Bomber, Tom, tell me about the Atlanta Falcons.
So, one and only, I'm sure most of you guys remember him from being a Super Bowl champion 2 seasons ago. I was able to, in his busy schedule, link up with him and possibly talk to him a little bit about who he's going to draft. His first answer he gave me was, "Wouldn't you like to know?" So, and that was something that I would have liked to know. And after, talking with him a little bit, I did manage for him to squeak out a best available was his answer. So, who's Falcons going with? Best available.
Best available for the Falcons, it sounds like. Bomber, this is a team you're relatively familiar with. You've played them multiple times. You've seen them in playoff games. This Falcons team, what do you expect from them?
I expect them to take best available. I mean, it seems like they're always finding pieces and plugging them where they need to go. And they're not the type of team to go out and reach. I mean, I actually think they would probably go ahead and take a tight end named N. Kelly. Possibly that could be something that could add to my batting average for today. It's just out there on a whim.
Oh my God, your sources are so ingrained in these war rooms. I can't.
Can I bat over 1,000? Is that even possible? I'm not familiar with baseball.
I think you just did.
But I want to know.
I think you just did right there. You know what? You keep working on that map. We're going to move to pick number 28 here for the Tennessee Titans. So we're back in the AFC South. DK, tell me about the Titans.
I told you these guys were going to go defense, and that's what they're going to continue to do. They went cornerback with their first pick. I think they're going to go with the left end. They need somebody to team up with Casey. You still have Scott on the board. I think he's a top talent. I think people are underestimating him, but I think he's the pick for the Titans from this one.
So still nothing with the wide receiver or quarterback situation on the other side of the ball. That offense, no changes on that side. So we think we're going defense here for the Tennessee Titans at number 28. The second pick here in the first round for the Tennessee Titans, as DK mentioned. So the pick is in, and we'll wait for the commissioner here. And there's Bomber's boy Burton, number 28. So Jackie Moon's on the clock here at number 29. Give it to us, DK.
He's going defense also. He told me that he really needs a linebacker, and I'm telling you right now, he needs a middle linebacker. There's basically nobody there that he has a middle linebacker. He picked somebody at the 6th round last year, but he really needs to upgrade right now. If he does anything else, he'll go with the offensive line, but I'm pretty sure he's going middle linebacker, or at least a linebacker.
So we've seen 3 middle linebackers come off the board: Brandon, Griffin, and Pittman, I believe. Are any of these guys still worth the number 29 pick in the first round, or is this a situation where they may reach a little bit?
They might have to reach, because what they have right now is not going to work, in my opinion. So I really think they need to go to the linebacker or offensive line. But I really feel like the linebacker is a place of need that they need to attack right now.
Yeah, so you could see maybe possibly a right outside linebacker or a left outside linebacker slid inside. Somebody maybe more of a 4-3 scheme type of guy, because I think they're a little devoid of talent, like you said, at middle linebacker. But at this point in the draft, I think you may be looking a little bit of a reach here. A lot of linebackers already taken at this point. It is a deep draft at linebacker, but I think here for Jackie Moon, any sort of middle linebacker play is a middle linebacker play made too early. The Colts are going to have to hurry up and get their pick in here, as the time's going to expire on the clock here in the next 15 seconds or so. And so as the clock ticks down here for the Colts, I'm not sure they're going to get their pick in here.
Wow, that's a blunder.
It looks like the pick does get in. And it's going to be the middle linebacker Golden. So they do go middle linebacker, devoid of talent, possibly a reach there, but that's something we'll have to look at down the line. We are back to the Carolina Panthers out of the NFC South. Tom, tell me about the Panthers here, pick number 30, as we get ready to roll into the second round here of MBL Season 15 draft.
All right, first off, before I tell you guys about the pick of the Panthers, let me just tell everyone how great of a feeling it is when you make the playoffs. This is something that is known to Wildcats and the Panthers. You know what else is known to Wildcats and the Panthers? Getting mopped up in the playoffs, and that is exactly what happened to them last year. When you can't score by the Detroit Lions, when you can't score a single point and you let up 27 points, you need to fix something. They're going to go offense here. They were telling me cornerback, linebacker. They've already got their defensive back and with the cornerback earlier. They're going wide receiver here or some kind of offensive playmaker. They need to learn how to put up points when the game matters.
So when the game matters, Bomber, what was the score on that game?
A whole lot to a whole 0. I can't remember what I scored, but I do remember 0 was what he scored.
They probably could have borrowed some points from their divisional round whooping, or their wild card whooping, to flop up into that AFC Championship game.
Well, it could have been a lot less to a lot of nothing, and so they go with the outside linebacker Jennings there, and they're building a lot of linebackers on that defense, and so we'll have to see how that goes down the road. Now, pick number 31, once again, Detroit Lions. They go with Hopkins, the wide receiver, earlier in the draft, the little guy, the 5'8" guy, the speedster. If there's one thing I know about the Lions, it's never be surprised if he doubles up on a wide receiver. So this could go one of two ways. You could see another wide receiver here, or you could see some defensive line help, which I think the defensive line help is sorely needed.
That would require Bomber to go with his head and not his gut, and I don't know that he's ever been able to do that.
You're right. I've seen his gut, and I'm sure he's never taken the head over the gut. So we're probably going to see another wide receiver here at number 31. Hopkins, slight reach there at 16. 31. I'd actually like to see him maybe go defensive tackle here. Their defensive tackle.
Nope. Guess again.
We'll share the insight, Bomber.
We'll play a little game of hot and cold. I'll let you know when you get a little closer.
I'm going with the wide receiver then, if I got to guess.
That's what my heart said. But we went a different direction today, baby.
If I were to take a guess here, I was going to say he's going with a middle linebacker. Hart would be my guess.
And it sounds like Bomber reached on another middle linebacker here with the 31st pick. Bomber, tell me about your middle linebacker.
Well, he went to UCLA, so you know he's a Bruin, and he went to college in California. 6'2", 243. 92
right,
tackle, and I don't want to get into this Justin thing. We can do it. 85 pursuit, 82 hit power, 83 speed, 84 agility, 88 acceleration, overall 76, but the scheme can't be fixed.
This is throw power. We need to know the throw power. Very important.
All right, so if any, we're going to go here for the last pick of the first round. Pick number 32, the Green Bay Packers are on the clock here. Bomber, take your eyes off your middle linebacker for 2 seconds and tell me about these Packers.
Okay. The Packers, I have a nice connection in with Green Bay, and they are really hyping up this guy from the University of Southern California, USC, the Trojan. I believe his name is pronounced Garif Rhodes, and I have the owner on paper right now. I have a screenshot from my source saying that he's calling him a slower version of Randy Moss. I don't know what that means, because without his speed, he's not Randy Moss. But he's called him a version of Randy Moss, and Aaron Rodgers needs a new toy. That's what's coming down from ownership. The GM's having to work with that, so I'm going to expect Rhodes, 6'4", 227, big wide receiver, to be selected to be the new wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. Maybe even replace the number 1 and number 2 spot that Jordy Nelson left a couple years ago when they cut him.
I don't think that Aaron Rodgers needs a new toy. I think Aaron Rodgers needs a new team. He's tired of being on this last place team every single year.
The Texans.
Well, either way, Rodgers,
Nice
Hundley, or someone else, we're going with Rhodes here at the end of the first round. So that takes us back around to pick number 33, the first pick of the second round, and we got the Houston Texans back on the clock here, part of the AFC South. So, DK, give me a little look here at the Houston Texans. They go quarterback in the first round with the first pick. Where do we go with the second pick?
Well, they better get this guy some help and get somebody to block for him because he's going to need some protection out there. I see them going left tackle to protect their new rookie quarterback, but they left guard too. So if they do anything other than offensive lineman to protect this quarterback, then I don't know what the hell that the Texans are thinking.
Man, questioning ownership hard here. So take me down your logic here. So we got to protect the quarterback. Do they have the playmakers? What are we talking about? Is the only thing holding this team back the quarterback and protecting the quarterback?
To me, the only thing that's holding this team back is the quarterback and some protection. They got some good skill players there. I mean, they got Hopkins, they got Strong. They drafted a running back, I think, last year or the year before. That's really, really solid. Jermichael Finley's getting long in the tooth at tight end, but he's still, a good source to use on that passing scheme. So, I mean, I think you need to protect the quarterback and get some blocking for this running back so they can make some noise on offense.
All right, well, so we'll see if they can make some noise in the offense. The AFC South's been owned by the Indianapolis Colts the last couple seasons, who have put together some good runs in the playoffs. So for the Texans to start rebuilding their franchise and attempting to challenge the Colts, they got the cornerstone quarterback there in the first round, and we're about to find out here as the clock's expiring on the Houston Texans, who will they be going with. The pick does look to be in, and it's going up to the commissioner's desk right now to get signed off on. And it looks like they're going to go away from DK a little bit, and they're going to go with a defensive tackle here, Houston. So they are looking to the defensive side of the ball. And in pick 34, we got the Chicago Bears. Tell me about the Bears, Bomber.
All right, Chicago's going to the defensive side of things with this pick. I'm thinking linebacker, D-line. They lost Pernell McPhee earlier in free agency, did not want to re-sign with Chicago. I think that hurt them, and I think they're still looking to replace that. So I'm going to go ahead out on a limb here, and I'm going to say defensive end, Antrell Gore is going to be their selection. right now. Antrell Gore is projected #1 overall, first round selection. He's a Wisconsin Badger. He played in the 4-3. We all know the Bears are switching to 4-3, so this is ideal for Antrell Gore to start his career here with the Chicago Bears.
Now, is this coming from a source in the war room?
If this is coming from a direct source, but the owner also likes Joey Betty, the Georgia Bulldog, that's still out there. That was one of his high. He almost selected him earlier in the draft.
All right. Well, we're gonna find out what your sources may be knowing here. In the war room, Chicago's pick is in,
The Jets.
and we're gonna wait for the call here, and it's Gore, the right end. And we're just going to go ahead and move on right now. So, New York Jets here, owner Delvar. Now, fun fact here for all MBL listeners, Delvar holds the longest drought for playoff appearances. I believe he's at 12 or 13 seasons without a playoff appearance here in MBL. What's he got to do to get the New York Jets into the playoff lip?
Well, he was very excited about the running back he selected last year. He had some success with him, but he wants to keep showing his dedication to that guy. Delvar met with a lot of offensive linemen through this process. He definitely wants to go there. When we first talked to Delvar, he was talking about working on the defense, but then recently he picked up Colin Kaepernick at quarterback, so I think the commitment now needs to shift to protecting him, getting a good run game, and being productive on offense, and that seems to be where Delvar is headed right now.
And to interject, the running back that he's speaking of was a top 3 in the candidate for Rookie of the Year. It was Antonio Reddick. He was the 10th pick last year out of UCLA. He was a young running back, inexperienced. He came in there, and he was the first 1,000-yard rusher that the New York Jets have had in the MBL this Madden, and he's been great for that team. And I would say with Lip that they're going to go offensive line right here.
Yeah, as it looks right now, up the middle, they seem to have a decent amount of guys that can pull together and be a good solid middle, but they don't really have anybody on the outside. Ferguson has aged. They got a guy, Harrison, at right guard that might be able to shift somewhere, but definitely think that they need to go to one of the tackle positions here. Talking with Delvar, that definitely seems where he's going.
All right. Well, it does appear that the New York Jets pick is in here, and it's Sullivan, the right tackle. So, good diagnosis there.
Great
from
selection.
Lip,
Great selection by the Jets and Bomber as well as on the diagnosis.
as well as Bomber. So we're down to the dirty South. Atlanta Falcons, DK. Falcons here, 36 overall pick. What are we thinking?
I had the Falcons. So the Falcons, as you guys all know, was very unwilling to put forward where he was heading in this draft. One thing I can tell you about the Falcons is that they've had one of the best defenses in the league for the past few years, and offense not too far behind that. And with that said, I would definitely see them going offense here. One thing they were lacking on pretty severely last year, which could have been a down from the playoffs, was their passing game. They ranked 22nd in the league. Matt Ryan had a pretty decent year, but maybe his wide receivers weren't really there. After Felton and Jones, it was a huge drop-off. No one really stepped up after that. So I could possibly see the Falcons going with a wide receiver here, or possibly a tight end.
The wide receiver tight end there for Matt Ryan. There have been some talks in the last couple seasons that Matt Ryan's time could be running out in Atlanta, but it looks like they're going to go with the middle linebacker here. We've seen a big run on middle linebacker so far in this draft. We're going to see another middle linebacker here for the Vikings, Bomber?
I couldn't tell you. I'm unable to get a hold of my source right now for the Minnesota Vikings, but I do know enough about this team where I'm going to make an educated guess, and I'm going to say that the Minnesota Vikings look to take from the U, Ricky Benson, wide receiver. He's 6'2". He's got all the skills and talents that you need, and I think he would fit perfectly into that offense that's being transformed since they just lost Teddy Bridgewater. They're going with the youth movement, and I think Ricky Benson would be a nice addition to the halfback that they just brought in, bringing some skill players this year, and hopefully it can help improve themselves on offense and consistently throughout the years as they're building a foundation to grow on.
So, the change from AP to the new back, now you're prognosticating a wide receiver out in Minnesota. What about the loss of Teddy Bridgewater? And that's and that effect on this Minnesota Vikings offense?
Well, as I spoke to APV earlier this week about Teddy Bridgewater and his contract, and they drafted Mason Marks last year for a reason. They knew that Teddy Bridgewater was going to want a lot of money. He just got paid, what was it, 140, 160 million dollars on a 6-7 year deal. They weren't willing to go there with him. They weren't willing to pay Adrian Peterson what he wanted, and that's why he retired. This Minnesota Vikings team has been very financially conscious with their money because of one reason. They're not making the funds that everyone else is making. They're going through a stadium change, and they're going through all these changes, and they want to go with their youth and let their youth grow, and then in the future pay those guys to keep them part of this nucleus.
I'm not sure you can call a team who was negative in funds and getting fired and then reluctantly brought back a team that was financially smart.
Yeah, fire the owner.
Well, they're smart
right.
in the war room. They got Hoodie there at the right end. Moody. Apologize. So we're back to the AFC South. DK Titans. We've seen them a couple times so far. Where are we going now here with Tennessee Titans?
Well, like I said earlier, it was all about defense. Well, they're going to switch it over and get somebody at receiver, get some depth here. And I know for a fact, I got off the phone with him just now, and he said he's going receiver. Train wouldn't tell me who it was, but he told me he's going receiver, so I'm pretty sure that's where he's going.
I predict Train may lie to you. He's been known to do that.
Good prediction. I will back that one.
So this still raises a lot of questions about what's going on out there in Tennessee. The Mariota suspense continues to grow as it doesn't appear Tennessee will be taking a quarterback here. So we may be looking at another year of Marcus Mariota now throwing to Benson, the wide receiver, here at pick number 38 in the MBL draft. Up on the clock now at pick number 39, the Arizona Cardinals. So we're going to go back out west to Bomber to tell us about play and the Arizona Cardinals.
All right, the Arizona Cardinals last year, they didn't have a great record. They struggled a bit, even behind that great potential quarterback. I haven't seen as much hype since Andrew Luck came into the NBL than about TJ Wheeler. This guy's a flat-out stud. But you know what he lacks? He lacks big playmakers. He needs some speed. He needs some ability to get down the field. Now, are they going to take that? I think they're going to use that to bring in a tight end. Because last year they drafted a first-round pick, Javonte Skinner from Georgia. He was a 7th overall pick. He worked out well. He had 35 catches. And he's playing alongside Michael Floyd. I think they're going to take their talents in this second round, and I think they're going to pick a tight end. And I think that's where they're really going to try to go vertical with this offense. And the tight end that I have available then picking is Samuel Jackson. That's right, Samuel Jackson. He was an actor. He's a little old, but he is from Delaware. He's going to come in here, and he's going to try to play tight end for the Arizona Cardinals.
All right. Well, you know, this is there's been very few tight ends taken up to this point. I believe there's only been one tight end taken up to this point, so there should be some good value here at pick number 39 for the Arizona Cardinals, if in fact they go tight end, which they don't. They go with the outside linebacker Jose. He should be a fan favorite out there in Arizona. So we're pick number 40 here in the draft, the Baltimore Ravens. Lip, what are we doing?
Well, we talked about this owner. He's a new guy. He said that the Ravens were going to look at cornerback and defensive end. He said that he doesn't want to get overlooked by the Bengals, Browns, and Steelers. He wants to make some good plays, and he is going to come in ready to compete. He's really stuck with what his plan was for this draft. He took a cornerback at 8. He told me earlier that he was definitely trying to get a defensive end. I kind of wonder about not having Suggs out there, but he definitely sees a defensive end that he is excited about and is committed to here at pick 40.
So no Suggs there. Who's going to hit the quarterback? You got a 3-4 defense. The defensive ends eat up blockers, but I'm not sure they're going to get that pressure they need on the quarterback, especially with Suggs gone. This is a Ravens team that last year under old ownership, they went heavy after speed with the motto that speed kills, and it did. It killed the owner. So it looks like the pick is in here for Baltimore at number 40, and we'll see if they do follow Lip's prognostication there and go with the right end
But
and
that's a great pick. That guy's been sitting on the board. And he's got a lot of potential, and for him to go at 40 in the second round, I really like what the Ravens doing. I'd consider that definitely a steal of the second round thus far.
Yeah, at this point in the draft, I think people got to consider value. The term best player available gets thrown around a lot. That does appear to be the best player available. So we're going to go to the Buffalo Bills. Once again, the common running theme here is new ownership, and you've got the Bills out in the AFC East. So, Lip, tell me about the Buffalo Bills and where we're going at pick number 41.
Well, the Bills weren't really sure what they wanted to commit to in this draft. They had sat on it throughout the first round, and I think maybe Todd may have taken a potential prospect away from the Bills, and that's pretty big whenever the Bills were looking at this guy and somebody in the division goes and takes him before you. So the Bills have told me that they've wanted offensive line, but with Todd taking the guy that they were really looking at, they think that there's some talent left at outside linebacker that they could take and try to combat that offense that Todd's going to try to have. So they're looking at outside linebacker here for pick 41.
All right, so it's saying a lot when you tell you that you got bested by Tout, but that was the name of the game last year in the AFC East. So let's see if these Buffalo Bills can get back on track and circle the wagons and retake the throne there. So picks in from Buffalo, they go with the outside linebacker Russell, and we're going to stay in the AFC East for Delvar's pick at number 42. Lip, New York Jets, what are we looking at?
Well, we already talked about the Jets wanting to rebuild the defense. They also had Brandon Marshall at wide receiver retire this past season, so we're not really sure who Kaepernick's going to be throwing the ball to. But I just got word from Delvar that he is extremely committed to this run game with the running back that Bomber had detailed about a little bit earlier. He's definitely going to go offensive line, and he says that it's going to be left tackle Parker. Just continuing to build this running game, and he's very committed to it with these two picks here.
So we're going to build on that running game, build from the trenches, the left tackle. I think it's good strategy if that is in fact what we will see go here. New York Jets, when you're behind the Miami Dolphins and ownership that's led by Tout, you would think that's an easy hurdle to climb back over. But what do these Jets got to do? They're committed to the running game, but is that the answer to retake the division?
I think that they brought in Cap, and he might have a different style of quarterback play that can break open the ground game for the running back. I think that he sees a lot of potential in Kaepernick. He didn't give him the deal that says that, but I think with the way this draft is going, the Jets really see a huge advantage to Kaepernick and the run game with the running back and Kaepernick in the same backfield. So taking two offensive linemen here to kind of push that run game forward is something Delvar's really committed to.
And Lip, it looks like your sources are as good as Bombers there, as Parker is the pick for left tackle at the number 42 pick. And so we get to see the Cleveland Browns up here on the clock. Cleveland Browns we've not gotten to see so far. They've been doing a lot of wheeling and dealing. So here at the 11th pick in round 2, we'll get a chance to see the Cleveland Browns and TFA.
Wait, to interject a bit, Sonny. Yeah, to interject a bit, I want to say the Cleveland Browns, it seems like every other year they stack picks, they trade, they stack picks, they trade picks. And on these down years, we've noticed that they have had problems going into the next season when they didn't have their picks. What is y'all's take, or Sonny, what's your take on the fact of the way the Browns have been trading their picks, stacking their picks, and then dumping their picks the next year? Do you think it's going to have an influence on their team moving forward?
I think anytime you keep mortgaging your future, it's only going to take longer to start building the stars of tomorrow. So they've survived so far off of free agency and kind of looking to the future each year. So it'll be interesting to see what the Cleveland Browns are going to do here. But I think Johnny Manziel, they feel okay with that drunk running the ship, and that's something they have to exercise their own demons. And looks like he's going to be thrown to this drunk Dunbar, the wide receiver. So, we're going to look down to the Dallas Cowboys at pick number 44 in the NFC East to have Tom tell us about somebody who hopefully isn't a drunk.
with the Cowboys, as you guys probably have seen, this is his first pick in the draft so far. He's traded his first pick this year, and he was able to acquire a first and second pick next year. One thing I do know about the Cowboys, although they were in the bottom of our division, they love their quarterback they were able to draft last year, so this is a long-term project for their quarterback. One thing he has mentioned to me is that he was a little unhappy with the way that his wide receivers were after Des Bryant. No one was seemingly really able to make a catch hang onto the ball, and also with Witten retiring, that's another target gone. So I would not be surprised to see the Cowboys here with the second round pick go for a wide receiver or a tight end. If no one is there at the value, they say they will not reach and grab one. The only other spot I can see them going here really is a cornerback and helping that defense out a little bit.
Yeah, it appears at this point in the draft, wide receiver would be a little bit of a reach. I got a couple on the board here that may fit in, but I think at this point you're probably looking to the other types of playmakers you can find. So
The Buccaneers.
the pick is in here for the Dallas Cowboys, and they're going with tight end. So not quite a wide receiver, but they are looking for somebody who can catch the ball, and they get a tight end. So at pick number 45, we're back to Tampa Bay, who's a little bit of a wild card, as we pointed out earlier in the draft. So NFC South, Tom, tell us about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right, so as I told you guys earlier with the Bucs here, they really said that through this whole draft they're going to be going with the best available player. Statistically looking at their season last year, they went 7-9, which wasn't awful, but they're competing in a very tough division. Actually, they had one of the better offenses in the league. They ranked in the top 10 in both yards, pass yards, and rushing yards. So their offense is not something that I'm really looking for them to go with this pick. However, I would like to see them improve on their defense. They were very middle of the road as far as passing yards and rushing yards allowed, and they allow one of the most points in the league. With the earlier pick in the draft, we did see them go with a linebacker. I expect this to be another defensive player, possibly a cornerback or a safety to really help with the pass game.
All right, so possibly a cornerback or safety here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, looking to climb out of the division, or climb up the division, I should say. Climb out of the division, maybe too. I don't know. Maybe
We are live, baby. We are live.
Looking to move. So Tampa Bay. Tom, you talk about that back end. We talked about the aging cornerbacks they signed. What do you think the plan is on the back end? Is this a short-term turn it over to the rookies, or are we looking at rental players here for the next couple years in Tampa Bay?
I think Tampa Bay is really looking at rental players, as you call it. They don't have the young talent right now, so I think what they're going to be doing through free agency in the next upcoming years is they're going to be getting little older players they can sign to cheaper one-year deals to really fill the holes in their team as they draft young players to develop them over the course of the next few seasons. So I believe in the next 2 or 3 seasons we can really look for Tampa Bay to have a group of solid young players that really take over for these older players.
So it looks like the pick's in for Tampa Bay. They're really stacking up on the left side of that offensive line. They went with the left tackle Ryan earlier. Now we get the left guard Clark. So they're really looking to solidify that line and win the battle in the trenches. So positive and good philosophy there in Tampa Bay. Let's see how that's going to play out for them. We're looking at pick number 46, and we're going to finally get to see the Raiders on the clock here. We got the Raiders here in the AFC West. DK, tell us about your division rival.
Oh, my boy Project, he really, really wanted a cornerback. But as we've been saying before the draft, that cornerbacks were going to go quick, and there wasn't much depth at cornerback. So now he's looking to go to a left guard to move to a left tackle during the preseason. So a left guard will be taken off the board on this pick.
Left guard. So Bats building from within. I know he was highly targeting Joe Thomas during the free agency period, and I think the price got a little steep there, so he stepped back to Dwayne Brown, and it looks like
he went for Dwayne Brown. I did get a couple nasty text messages from him immediately following the ending of the free agency period over the winning of Dwayne Brown. Couple threatenings to actually leave the Extra Point podcast.
You know,
He's
if
so
Matt
mad
really
about
wants
this.
if he wants to boost up his O-line, he should just put himself there. He's got the size. He's got the size. He can play the O-line.
On the clock.
I believe one scout said he had a brisket-shaped body.
XP the skills. He's got the size, you know?
All right, so Kansas City pick comes in fast and furious here. Pick number 47, and they're taking it up to the podium there. So we'll wait to get this pick here. And it's going to be the center, Sam, so that's going to put me, the Cincinnati Bengals, on the clock.
Yes, Sonny, and I think that you did a good job going with that corner, and I think that you might be able to squeak out a wide receiver here with this pick. We had talked about all the different things that you wanted to do in your secondary and with your wide receivers, and I think that there's some depth here at wide receiver. We haven't seen a ton of them go yet here at pick 48. I definitely think that you could get one. And you'll find a way to fit him into that offense that was number 1 in the league and the 5th ranked passing offense. The question for everybody, as well as myself, I think we really want to see how the duel between Dalton and Nassib goes. Like we said earlier, we're not sure how long Nassib's going to drive the ship here until Dalton comes riding back in to save the day, but I think a wide receiver can help either one of those quarterbacks out here with your offense.
Could go a lot of different ways here. So, the Bengals here on the clock, trying to figure out where we're going. We really like the center Sam that went the pick before to Kansas City, but, picks on the offensive line is probably going to be the pick, and it looks like we've got our boy here.
Looks like he's going to milk this down to 0 seconds so we talk about the Bengals for 2 minutes.
We're trying.
And we're down to 10. 9. All right, the pick's being handed to the podium right now to the commissioner. That's me. Thank you.
And we're happy with the pick here.
Just tell me it's not a right tackle named Evans.
No, you're so good. You got sources
Tell
everywhere.
me that's not. Oh my gosh! No, great pick by the Bengals, man. Value pick in the 2nd round, definitely. Great player. Gonna have a great, bright future as a starter in the MBL.
Yeah, we got Lucas, the right tackle we drafted a couple years ago. Haven't been too happy with the play there. So with moving Andre Smith into center, it looked like the right tackle of the future is going to be Evans here in the 2nd round for the Bengals. So Bengals are done. We're on to the Eagles. October here at pick number 49 is on the clock. So look out to the NFC East for Tom for a take on his Eagle buddy, October.
I wouldn't quite call him an Eagle buddy. But anyway, I was right on with this pick earlier. He loves that quarterback. Patrick went with the left tackle last pick. I cannot see them going with another O-line here. I think one thing they really want to improve on is their secondary. They lost Byron Maxwell. He did not play up to the contract that he was offered, so they went ahead and let him test the market. I do believe that the Eagles are going to go and try to replace him with this pick here and definitely try to grab a cornerback.
So Maxwell gone in Philly. We're looking for a cornerback replacement. I think Maxwell is playing down in Miami, probably making too much money by Tau. Here in the 2nd round, a little bit of a reach or cornerbacks. You got to take them when you can get them.
It really depends. You can definitely reach too much for a cornerback, but I think if they're seeing a cornerback on their board right now that is worthy of a late 2nd, early 3rd, maybe even a mid 3rd, they're taking him right here. They definitely don't want to miss out on him come their next run around.
All right. Well, it looks like the pick is going to be in there from the Eagles, and that pick will be a left end. So it looks like their idea is they're going to get to the quarterback before he gets a chance to throw the ball. So Dallas Cowboys on the clock again. We just saw him not long ago, and we're going to get to see him again here at pick number 50. So Tom, tell us about the Cowboys.
All right, so with the Cowboys, as I told you guys earlier, he's definitely big on his quarterback. He wants to add the weapons. As we saw with his last pick, with the retiring Witten, he went ahead and replaced with a new tight end. So with this pick, I can see them going with a wide receiver as I thought they were last time. After Dez Bryant, they're a little shaky after that point, so I could definitely see them as long as it's not a reach. And again, I'll say the same thing as I said for the Eagles. They want to go with the secondary if the wide receiver is not there. Specifically, they're looking for a cornerback or a safety. That's really the only spot I believe that they're looking for on defense. They're happy with happy with the defensive line they have. They're happy with the linebacking core they have. So secondary or wide receiver is really where I see the Cowboys heading with this pick.
So we're getting a wide receiver here. I'm not sure. Does anybody know? Did Victor Cruz end up in Dallas? They were high on Cruz, I know, at one point. Former New York Giant.
That's a great question, Sonny. I'm going to go ahead and check it right now. Victor Cruz if he was signed, and it doesn't look like Victor Cruz is on the roster for the Dallas Cowboys.
All right. Well, so
I mean, the
Victor
guy can
Cruz in
dance.
Dallas.
He can dance.
He can dance.
Victor Cruz
salsa.
actually became a member of the
The
Tampa Bay
Jaguars are now on
Buccaneers
the clock.
alongside that big guy. Can't remember his name right now.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. There you go.
All right.
So there's a big addition to
Someone
that
loves
offense,
Mike
and I
Evans.
can't remember his name, but Victor Cruz is on the opposite side of him.
So we get free safety in Dallas. They look to shore up the secondary, and we're on to Jacksonville, which means we end up in the AFC South once again. Seems like we've gotten to talk to him a lot today, but tell us about the AFC South, DK.
All right, they really want a linebacker, and I think their guy is still there. They're going to go with Aaron Humphrey. That's who I think they're going to go. That's who they've been telling me they've been looking at. So that's where the pick is headed. I'm pretty sure of it.
Hey DK, do you think that Jacksonville possibly really wants a linebacker?
They really want a linebacker.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say they don't go with a linebacker. No, just kidding. So Humphrey would be a great value pick here. Projected in the first round, but it appears to have lasted a little bit too long. Not sure what that could be. Possibly some concerns over character. The pick is in here from Jacksonville, and DK's calling Humphrey the linebacker, and that is what it is. Humphrey the linebacker. So they really wanted one, and they really got one there. Pick number 51 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we're off to pick number 52 in the San Francisco 49ers, which means we're going out to the NFC West for Bombers' take on the 49ers.
All right, the 49ers went into this draft. Their main priority was just trying to add some kind of depth to the cornerback position, but they knew they didn't have a first-round pick due to the idiot owner before. The prior owner was an idiot. All right, so they didn't have a pick in the first round. They got a pick in the second round. So they're thinking, okay, where are we going to go? We got holes here. We got a lot of pieces in free agency. They're saying, oh, offensive line. We need an offensive line. We need the old San Francisco method to come back into play, ground and pound. They're going to go with the left guard, Sam Sherman from Florida State. This guy's a hoss, man. He's a big mauler. He bench pressed 35 reps at the combine. He was crazy impressive. 6'3", 321 pounds. And his is muscle. His isn't like Project Fats. The same weight, but a totally different guy. This is the guy I think they're going to go with, and he's definitely going to make an immediate impact on the San Francisco 49ers football franchise.
So hold on a second. So was he an idiot or was he an idiot?
He was a dumbass. Moving on.
All right, we're getting personal. So,
Browns are now on the clock.
you know, I agree there, and we do see Sherman come off the board here for the San Francisco
great
49ers.
Great pick.
We're going back to back in Cleveland here. 53-54. Lip, you know, we saw Cleveland trade a lot of picks and turn them into second-round picks here the last season and a half. What's the plan there in Cleveland here for pick 53 and 54?
Well, they had talked about wanting a wide receiver, and they went out and did that. Their tight end is a position that they may want to improve on. But the big thing that I'm looking for is for them to get a tackle out there. You know, they just let go a really solid left tackle. And you know that Johnny had a really good season last year for the most part, and they're going to try to have a good high-powered offense. So I really think that they need to go left tackle here. But, you know, the Browns are saying that they have a guy that they are very intrigued by. So this could be a surprise pick. It could be a reach. Not sure, but it looks like TFA sees somebody out there that they are really interested in.
So they go wide receiver before. I could see the Browns actually going wide receiver again. I think the Browns like the flash of going with skilled players. I think the defense is pretty set. Not a ton of holes on this Browns
The Browns are now
team.
on the clock.
Maybe offensive linemen. Looks like they go halfback here. I think that's a great pick by the Browns. They've not gotten a ton out. Duke Johnson, Terrence West is a banger in between the tackles, but he's not going to get you that 10, 20 big breakaway run. Only one halfback up to this point, and so the Browns go halfback here and get really good value here towards the middle end of round number 2 in the draft. So pick number 54, Browns again. We saw a halfback go. You think that was the intriguing pick, or you think we're going to see him here at 54?
I'm not sure. I think that might have been the guy. You know, he actually likes to run a good bit of Wildcat. So I think this might be a guy that he could have seen as a guy that could do a lot from that formation as well as run behind an offensive line. I think that the Browns had talked about letting go of Kruger this offseason, and they did that. So they've got a large hole at right outside linebacker. They might have a guy on the left side that they could shift over, but from the way that TFA had talked, it seemed that right outside linebacker was the primary hole to fill on defense, even though he's gone strong offense here.
So they go with the right tackle, Murray, it looks like. So they are getting some protection there for Johnny Drunkball. And ironically enough, we're going with Jamzel here, the Buffalo Bills at pick number 55. So we are back to the AFC East, which means, Lip, we're getting a lot of you today. Might as well keep it rolling.
Well, you should get a lot of me, Super Bowl champion. So here we'll go with the Bills.
Shameless plugs everywhere.
They talked about offensive line. They haven't really given a lot of hints to what they could fill in at this pick. They weren't even sure about having these second-round picks. Earlier in the day they were trying to move them, so we're not really sure what the Bills are going to do here. I think that they lean towards the offensive side. From an ownership perspective, they like to put up points. They like to have a big, powerful offense. So I think that you would see some kind of maybe skill position here, maybe wide receiver, unless they find somebody that they like at offensive line. But like I said, it seems like the offensive line guys that they did like have all gone.
So basically they could do anything here, is what we're getting here on the Buffalo Bills.
That is the thing, and I'm starting to think that maybe the Bills and the Dolphins are owned by Todd at the same time, but he does go with a guard there, which was something that he was talked about, and I guess he found a guy that can step in for that offense.
Okay, so we are going to go over to they're still the St. Louis Rams. So the St. Louis Rams were out in the NFC West, which means we get Bomber here. The Draco defense, are we getting more defense, or are we going to the other side of the ball here?
That's a great question. I talked to Draco personally myself about 5 minutes ago, and I was told they're looking offensive line. They like the middle linebacker, but he is not there anymore. They like the right guard, Taylor Childs. He's not there anymore. I think they're going to go O-line. From when I spoke to him, the availability of these players has changed a lot. But I like Chance Lauderdale. He's from Penn State. He's a big mauler guard, and he's a great value pick for this late second round. He was the third strongest in the bench press. He did 34 reps. He was the third fastest in the 20-yard shuttle. He was the third fastest of the 3-cone, and he was the third fastest of the 40-yard dash. So, I mean, you got a guy that can pull, and you got a guy that has the strength. And at this point in the draft, with what's left, I think that's just a great pick for them, especially a value pick for the St. Louis Rams, who are primarily ground and pound offense.
Yeah, opening up holes for Todd Gurley's got to be number one priority there in St. Louis, as the defense is doing their part and the offense needs to hold up their end. So, based on Bomber yesing, I'm guessing he gets a text from the war room saying that he just pulled the right pick out of his ass for the right guard, Chance Lauderdale. So Bomber once again has the source in the war room here, and let's see if our friend Lips got the source in the war room there for Tout and the Miami Dolphins.
Well, for the first time this draft, and maybe for all of his career, I got a pinpoint answer from Tot. I said, Tot, who are you taking? And he said, Lip, I'm going to take a quarterback, a left tackle, a left guard, a center, a right guard, a right tackle. And I said, Todd, is this going anywhere? And he said, absolutely not. And I said, well, at least you got that right. So through my talks with Todd, it's a guess. Nobody really knows. He has some positions that he'd like to fill. It appears that the Bills took the guard that he was looking at, but you could throw a dart at a wall and come up with Todd's pick. Who knows?
So no help from Lip once again there in Miami. So sounds like Lip needs to get better sources. And
we'll keep trying here, but I don't want to get into listing too many positions here, put people to sleep.
All right. So We get tout for 30 more seconds here as we're left wondering and scratching our heads like most things when we talk about tout.
Let me take a shot.
What he's
Let me
doing.
take a shot in the dark. I'm saying he's going Andre Fender, right end, UCLA. He's a monster. He's got great block shed, great power. He's 302 pounds. You can move him around on that offense, on the defensive line. You can play many positions, and he's just an overall stud. And I wouldn't be surprised if they took him. They probably
Tout's
won't.
going to go with defensive tackle on this one.
And Tom's got the better source this time as Bomber swings and whiffs, and they go Tate, the defensive tackle. So, off to the AFC West for the Kansas City Chiefs, who went with the center last round, I do believe. So, AFC West, DK, tell me about the Chiefs.
I ain't gonna lie, man. He's been very, very quiet over there. He hasn't really given me anything to go with. I'm just gonna go with what he was telling me earlier, and he was telling me DB or linebacker. I mean, really, I don't see much at DB or linebacker. I mean, linebackers have just had a super run the last couple of rounds, and DB, hopefully he's safety, because if he's trying to talk about cornerback, there ain't gonna be nothing there. So we just have to wait and see what he's gonna do.
Maybe he wants to take a bust.
Hey, maybe he'll take a shot on the bus. I mean, you never know. Sometimes you got to reach to get a gym. Scary man don't make money.
All right, we learned something new. Scared men don't make money. All right, so Kansas City, they've wanted playmakers in this draft. Not sure if center's considered a playmaker, but they did get one in the first round. So we'll see where they go. Here with the 58th pick of MBL season 15 draft. And they go out to the defensive side for yet another middle linebacker. And this could be the deepest middle linebacker draft we've seen in NBL history.
Definitely. And he hit the nail on the head. He just said linebacker. He's been saying linebacker for DK, and I guess for Prince. And Prince went ahead and stood by his word and went with linebacker.
Atlanta Falcons, 59. Falcons are always an interesting pick here. One and only's had a lot of success in NBL. So as we go to the NFC South, Tom, Falcons here late in the second round. What are we expecting out of them?
Well, as you said, the Falcons have been a very successful team so far. There's really not many, if any, holes that they do have on that team. I was really expecting in their last pick for them to go offense. Their defense is basically top 10 in almost every statistical category. They are the number one in allowing the least amount of points. So they did have a run on defense earlier. I don't think that's going to continue to this point. I really think they're going to head for a wide receiver or a tight end with this pick.
All right. Before Tom's mic cut out there, it sounded like he's going defense or a tight end. I think they went with the tight end earlier this.
Wide receiver or tight end?
Wide receiver or tight end. I think they went with the tight end in the first round, so I don't think that's happening again. But we can never know. Maybe they'll run those 3 tight end sets there. But it looks like the pick's going to be the center Coley there at pick 59. We're back to the AFC South. AFC South's always a good time because we get to talk to our friend DK about the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, wow. And I quote, this is what I got from Trey. I said, who are you looking at next? He said, no fucking clue. So we have no fucking clue what Trey is about to go with.
Wait. You're telling me the owner of the Tennessee Titans, who had the 4th in team selection, who selected this team, doesn't know where he's going with the Tennessee Titans? That's unbelievable. I'm scratching my head. I mean, the amount of success he's had since he started, you would think it would be headed in the right direction, but they still seem puzzled in Tennessee, and I'm praying for you, and I'm sorry for you guys over there, and hopefully they get it together.
Well, I don't know if they're going to get it together because they don't have no clues. When you don't have no clue, that's not looking too good.
We've heard a lot of that in the last week or so. I believe a report came out from Denver that they actually have no clue what their offensive philosophy and or what they're doing on offense out there. Now we've got the Titans telling us they have no clue what they're doing as far as player management goes. So a lot of interesting things going on around the league and ownership as far as who has a clue and who apparently doesn't have a clue. But we, sitting here today, have no clue what the Tennessee Titans are here about to do at pick number 60 in the draft. And it looks like the pick is into the commissioner.
If I had a clue, I was going to say they're going to go with a left end here.
And it looks like you're cheating. So they do appear to be going with the left end, Peter Pearson, from wherever the fuck he's from, and we're going to stay in the AFC South with the reigning AFC South champions, the Horseshoe, the Indianapolis Colts and Jackie Moon. So tell us about him, DK.
Well, he's told me this guy, that guy, and this guy, and they keep on getting taken off the board. So we finally had a guy that he gave me that's actually on the board. So I'm thinking he's going free safety LaRon Hughes.
And mind you, the Colts have had so much success lately, and they've been drafting well and plugging in these starters and mixing them in with their stars that they have. But they're a 3-time AFC South champion, looking for a 4-peat. Can it be done is my question to Sonny. Do you think in this division, with the Titans having issues with their direction, Jacksonville, trying to find pieces, and the Texans also looking for a spark? They had the first pick this year. Can the Colts 4-peat the division? Sonny.
Yeah, I think they can. The division's got some turmoil going on right now. The Titans don't know what's going on, apparently, quoted from their ownership. The Jaguars are stuck in first gear as they lack the passing attack to really make a dent, while the running game's not too bad. And then you have the Texans, who just signed their franchise quarterback here in the first round, but we don't know what's going on there. So I think the Colts are going to 4-peat here again. But I think for the Colts, it's much bigger than that. It's not just winning division titles. It's about getting deeper into the playoffs. They were in the AFC Championship this year. So we'll have to see how far they can go.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Jaguars are now
Definitely.
So they add to the defense there with Fender, a good pick here in the 61st pick of the MBL draft. And we're going to stay in the AFC South and go with the Jacksonville Jaguars at pick number 62. So, DK, tell me about the Jags.
Well, I think that this division's up for grabs. I think the Colts are actually going to fall off this year, and someone else is going to take that division. I'm like Train. I don't have no fucking clue who it is, but I tell you right now, I really do think the Colts are going to fall off the top. Now, to the Jaguars, he told me just now he's going with Donaldson at cornerback. I mean, I have no idea what this guy is going to be able to do for them, but I hope it's good things because they really need it. Oh, first time ever. Never mind. He's going with Justin Duncan at defensive tackle. He just hit me right now with a text message saying he's going with Duncan at defensive tackle.
Damn, Pointer's best, Stephen A. Smith. While I'm on the air, here's what's going down. So we're going with the defensive tackle. What was that, Duncan?
Yes, sir. It was Duncan.
So Duncan hopefully is going to help shore up the defense on that side of the ball for the Jaguars. Still trying to figure out how they're going to score points, but hopefully they can keep the points down for their offense to have a shot. So back once again, and I felt like I've said this about 5 times in this round, but we're the Cleveland Browns here at pick 63 as we get ready to close out round 2 of the draft. Lip, tell me about the Browns.
Well, the Browns have told me that they have used up all of their resources. They have looked through all the players possible. It's going to be a decision just on someone who they like. I think that they're just going to go out there and pick somebody with the highest blood alcohol level, and that'll be their guy for this pick.
So we're going with the pop shot for drinking too much. Nice play, Lip. So the Browns, they've been interesting. We've talked about it. They've cycled back. They think they can find value here in the second round. So we'll see what they do here. But I think everybody's going to look back on this draft and wonder what could have been had they had a pick in the first round. They're going to need this draft to pay off. They go with Sheed, the defensive tackle. We'll see if that helps them out or not. But one thing's for sure. The Browns are just going to keep cycling through picks, and so are we. So we're at pick number 64, the last pick here of the second round for the Green Bay Packers, and it's only fitting that Bomber takes us out here with the last pick here on MBL Live.
All right, I just spoke to Bots. He's the owner of the Green Bay Packers. You can also check him out on his website, thebrokenrobots.com. It's great for blogs. He told me that he's going to help to try to add some depth on that defensive line. He's going with the left end, Jeremy Marsh. And that's the second D lineman that they've taken this draft. So they're really making a concerted effort to replace guys like B.J. Raji. And even on the linebacker in the first round, we remember, to replace guys like Clay Matthews. So they're looking to turn the leaf on some of these older guys and actually help build them up this season with the young guys to play depth positions and play key spots in key situations.
Well, it looks like they went with the left end Marsh there, and that's going to close out our live coverage here of the draft. Now, I know we're going to get some owners on here to talk about their drafts a little bit. I think the first owner up we have, and we're getting them mic'd up and ready to go, is going to be the San Francisco 49ers. So as we wait to get them set up here, Bomber, the 49ers, overall, what are you thinking about this draft here? Well, hold on one second. Looks like we have the 49ers here on the line. Can you hear us?
Yep, I got you guys.
All right, so we got you on the line here. Tell us how you feel about your draft here 2 rounds in.
Well, so far so good. I mean, we unfortunately didn't have a pick in the first round, but we're really happy with our selection in the second round, getting an offensive lineman who we're confident can play on the left side or play on the right side. Showing up some depth on the offensive line was one of our big goals going into this draft.
So you missed on Joe Thomas. We heard the rumors that you were looking to get a stopgap. Now, with you drafting a rookie here, is the long-term plan to keep him at guard, or was Joe Thomas going to kick inside to guard?
Our long-term plan was to keep him at guard. We'd wanted to land Joe. Unfortunately, Joe didn't sign with us, but we're really confident with signing Michael Orr to man down the left tackle, and we're excited to have our rook sit for a year behind Alex Boone, one of our anchors on the left side, and then see where we can plug him in either this year or next year.
Being new ownership to MBL, you're playing in a very tough division out there in the NFC West. You've got the Rams with the Draco defense, but you also got the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals. Where do you feel this draft, not just the draft, but the free agency as a whole, has put you inside of this division?
I mean, we intend to compete. We're thrilled with the guys we brought in. Headlined by, bringing in Marshawn Lynch to get us a strong running game, bringing in guys like Leon Hall to lock down our corners, and Jody Nelson on the outside. We really want to air the ball out and compete for a division title this year.
All right, well, would like to thank you for coming in here on MBL Live here to talk about your draft, and we wish you good luck here as the season goes on.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks. So what do you guys think about his recap of his draft and his free agency? Does this seem like the 49ers are going in the right direction?
Well, I can tell you this, from their second-round pick, when they went to pick that guard, Sam Sherman, he's a big mauler. I really liked him in college. I thought he had a great career, and I think he's going to be legitimately – he's going to make this offensive line – he's going to legitimize their offensive line, and that's what they're going to need to do. They're going to have to get back to the ground and pound. They don't have Kaepernick no more. They have Leonard, who they drafted last year in the first round. He's coming along nicely, but he's still undeveloped. We haven't seen his full potential. So essentially, the offensive line is where they want to start, and I thought they did a good job. I think they had a great value pick at 52.
All right, so looks like the next one up here, next owner we're getting mic'd up is going to be the owner of the Washington Redskins. Doughboy, are you there?
I'm here, folks. I'm here.
Oh, a little excited there on the mic. So tell us about your draft. How are you feeling after 2 rounds?
I have no bleeping clue.
There we go. Appreciate the bleep.
That's how you do it, folks. No, the draft went great. We got studs. I got Drew Williams in the first to replace Deshaun Jackson, who's probably going to see his last few years declining. I also got Kaliko Griffin, modeled after Ryan Shazier, 87 speed, 88 excel. In the free agency, we just mopped it. We threw Fab 5 Fred money out, got 99 right end, McAfee from the Bears.
Wait, Doughboy, we got to know. Are you saying that the Washington Redskins are going to win the division this year? They haven't won a division in NBL since when, Sonny? Sonny, go back. I don't remember. When's the last time you've seen the Washington Redskins logo? Have you seen the Washington Redskins owner on a division banner in the NBL? I don't think I've seen it since, I can't remember. It must have been at least 7, 8 seasons ago.
I can't recall that I've ever seen it.
Well, you got Noodle Arm playing for the Giants, who can't make it on one team, and then you got the Eagles, who have beaten me twice, but I have a feeling they're going to collapse this year. I think the Redskins, with what we've done in the past 2 seasons, have a good chance.
So on the record,
to take
the
the
division
division
title this year, you're saying you're going to take it. You're going to take it or you're not going to take it? What are we saying?
I'm coming for the gusto, man.
All right, there we go.
So you mentioned your free agency. one thing I did want to ask you about was the cornerback Robinson. You paid him money like he's going to start for you. What's the plan for Robinson as we go forward?
Oh, he's playing nickel. He's gonna eat it up. He's gonna blitz. He's gonna cover the slot fast guy, and he's 27 years old. He's gonna improve. See, on the Redskins, we actually develop players, unlike the Vikings, who cut them. So we're ready to go.
Ouch.
Okay, I got one last question before we let you go, Redskins. What would you say to the owners that are looking at your selections and looking at your picks and saying, the Redskins are primarily a speed-based team. They're not a skill-based team, they're a speed-based team. The players that they bring in is based on speed. The players that they draft is based on speed. What would you say to a person that says, you can't win with just speed, you're going to have to surround it with some skill?
Bomber took a 5'8" speedster in the draft, so it's all good.
Bomber's surrounded by Calvin Johnson and Golden Tate, so we're sprinkling skill in. So what would you say to the person who says, you're just about speed and you're not sprinkling in the skill?
My starting running back's 87 speed.
That's your response. Well, thanks for having you, Dope Boy. You've been great on the podcast. You've been electric, and guess what? You guarantee that division. And Skip Bayless, all our media guys and correspondents are going to hold you to that. And if you show up and you Babe Ruth it and you point out to the ceiling, you hit it out the ceiling, we're going to give you your praise. Thanks for coming on the show, Dope Boy.
Al Davis, baby. All right.
All right.
A lot of confidence there out of the Washington Redskins, who we'll see. That's a tough road to hoe there in the NFC East, and not sure he's going to hold up to that end. So next guy up we got coming in here is the Arizona Cardinals. We've got ownership player here. And player, I think we got you on the line there. How you doing today?
All right, how y'all doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. So your draft, how would you describe the way you approach the draft, and how do you feel coming out of it?
Well, I approached it looking for a cornerback, and Chicago and Tennessee swiped the two I had very high on my board.
Jets
and
are now on the clock.
Feel like you can never have too many weapons on offense, being ranked 32nd. So we took the best wide receiver we could, and we kind of reached on this last pick, but the first two picks we're kind of happy with.
Yeah, you got Jose out there in the desert. I think that's going to be a fan favorite. So, what was it about Jose that really sucked you in?
Well, we are switching from a 3-4 to a 4-3 Tampa 2, and he had all the attributes for a Tampa 2 linebacker, being that that's Lovey's forte. So he was the best available. We needed him, and we got him.
All right, can't complain with that. The future of Wheeler. It's been discussed the young quarterback may not be much longer in the desert. What are your thoughts on that?
We'll see. We want to see this young man develop, but so far it hasn't fallen into place. Injuries, bad decisions. I don't know yet. It's still up in the air. This is his make it or break it season. Either he's going to do it or he ain't.
Do you think the wide receiver you were able to pick up earlier in the draft is going to be something that's going to help him out down the line?
I'm hoping all of them will. I mean, if you look at our wide receiver core, it's very deep and talented. So there's going to be people fighting for the ball. So all he has to do is get it there. We feel like we got the people that'll go and get it for him.
Player, you got a lot of receivers there. What are you going to do with the ones that you're not going to use, though? I mean, it's an abundance of receivers out there.
Well, we can always make a trade for position of need if need be. We're not really looking to move any of them. We could if it really came down to it, but we're just going to let it play out in the preseason and see who comes out on top, and those who don't make it, and we'll find something for them to do.
It sounds like the Chargers may be interested in something, so you may want to call up the Chargers when you get off of here. But we appreciate you coming on the show here with us, and we wish you good luck this season as you look to try to take a little piece there of the AFC or the NFC West.
Well, we thank you, fellas, and MBL for life.
Thanks, Clay. All right, so we've got a little more time here for one more, and that's the guy I think that our fans have been waiting to hear for an entire year since the last draft. and that is going to be the ownership Delvar of the New York Jets. Delvar, are you available? We must not have Delvar on the line yet.
Ouch.
So while we're waiting for Delvar, he's having some technical difficulties. Guys, the Cardinals, like you talked about, that they go out and get the wide receiver, and they've got plenty of talent out there. But do they have the guy that's going to get the ball to the talent?
I think Wheeler really is the real deal. I think the guy, I think Bomber mentioned on earlier, really is one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback, to come out of the draft since Andrew Luck. One thing they've been hurting for is wide receivers. They had Floyd, Fitzgerald. They're big, slow guys, able to go up to get the ball, but they're not really able to burn past anyone. They had John Brown in there in the slot for a while, but he wasn't really performing to what they wanted him to be. I think that these receivers they drafted are really going to help them, and I've never doubted Wheeler personally. I think it falls more on the wide receiver course. So let's see if he's able to turn around what's been a pretty lackluster career so far with this new group of wide receivers he has.
Yeah, and I want to touch on T.J. Wheeler. I'm very high on him. He was a second-round pick, and he was drafted he was the sixth pick in the second round. I mean, this might be one of the biggest steals in MBL history that the Arizona Cardinals were able to pull off. I mean, it is remarkable, but he hasn't played up to par. We see signs where he'll have a 92, 105 QBR, but on the season last year he was 62.6, and he finished the season just showing off his inconsistencies. In Week 15 last year, he was 92.8 with a QBR. Then against Dallas on the road, he went to 21, and then Seattle, he bounced back slightly with the 72. But if you can't have a QBR at least over 80 in your third season going in, I think Playa might pull the plug on this guy and just look to move away. Maybe he's not the right fit for this system, or maybe we've just all overrated him up to this point.
Well, that's a good chance. A lot of times, guys, it's as much about scheme as anything. Quick hits. Let's kind of go around the world real quickly here. Best draft up to this point. Tom, go. All right, Tom. No.
Here, I'll jump in here, and I'll say that Tot had a really good draft. He actually surprised us with a lot of his picks. We thought he was going to go really heavy at the offensive skill positions. He built his secondary in free agency and the draft there, grabbing a good corner. And then on the offensive side of the ball, that's whenever we really thought he was going to go out and grab the wide receiver, but he came back and hit us with a lineman. I think that Tot stepped up and showed that throughout this season and throughout his first playoff run that he really matured as an owner and showed us that he's really gaining a lot of knowledge and being a better owner. And I think that this draft really impressed me, and it really stood out to a lot of guys.
I'm going to give some love to the Bears over here. I mean, they've had a hell of a draft, too. They picked up a cornerback and a linebacker that were top flight, and they also added a running back to go to the party in the backfield. So I think the Bears had an awesome draft themselves.
Okay, finally, let's go with Bomber again.
Bomber, what does he think? I'm thinking, I'm looking, and I'm thinking, and then I'm looking some more. And I say New Orleans Saints got a steal. I do not know why. Cuba and those Texans passed on that quarterback, and I could be wrong, but I wasn't a huge fan of Blair in college. I was a big-time Riley supporter, as most of the country was, but Blair had that hot stretch at the end of his career that really propelled him and made this a conversation. But I would have went with Riley, and the Saints stole Riley at number 2, and I expect this quarterback to take the New Orleans Saints franchise and turn it upside down. I'm saying 8-8 this year for the New Orleans Saints, and the sky's the limit for the rest of his rookie contract moving forward. So my steal, New Orleans Saints.
All right, let me come in and edit my answer a little bit here, and actually give an answer. So maybe not the team that necessarily won the draft, but one of the teams that I think has the potential to really walk away as a winner, in my opinion, would be the Browns and TFA. He didn't have any first-round picks, but he had a plethora of second-round picks, and he was able to acquire some extra first-round picks for next season with those second-round picks. So I think he had, if I'm not mistaken, 4 picks in the second round here. So if he's able to capitalize on all 4 of those picks, it's going to be huge for a team, for his team, and be able to fill in some real needed spots on a team that was able to make a playoff push last year. Not able to get past the wild card round, but those second round picks are real depth guys, and they might be something to fill those voids on his team.
I agree. I hope you're wrong, but we could see a good good turnaround for TFA with the draft. We know he had enough chances, so let's see if he capitalized on that. That's about all we have time here for MBL Live for the draft this season. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us, all of our guests, as well as Bomber, DK, Tom, and Lip. I'm Sonny Weaver.
Don't forget the shout out to Delver on the behind the scenes doing the production stuff. Doughboy actually helped with some of the development and production stuff this week too as well. And don't forget to shout out MaddenBomberLeague.com, 365.MaddenBomberLeague.com, and don't forget to check out our Twitter @BomberLeague. And now we do have an exclusive partnership with Hollywood Sports, so those still turning in. You can follow our guy Hollywood Sports on Twitter as well. He's got a YouTube channel, over 4,000 subscribers. You got to check him out if you're interested in the sports gaming and sim gaming. And Sonny, go ahead and lead us out right now.
For all of us here at MBL Live, thanks for tuning in, and game on.